The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? Apparently, pray the gay away isn't a thing, but pray until you get a supernatural force to kill them is. Amber and Scott saw Leviticus. I'll let you figure it out. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
I think I know the story about how this movie got made.
Okay, what's that?
There was a filmmaker in Australia who wanted to go see a movie one night. And he went to the cinema, and there were two movies playing. And he couldn't decide which one. Should he go see The Exorcist, or should he go see Brokeback Mountain? He didn't know. So he said, why choose? Let me write that script.
Why not both? That's funny because this film is actually listed as a horror film. And I can't even elaborate what you said. I think that's spot on. So, folks, if you haven't already picked up what we're putting down, we're talking about the movie Leviticus. And this is the story of two teenage boys in a small town with a large religious presence where it seems to be unacceptable if you're gay. And these two boys turn out to have feelings for one another. And one of the boys then kind of gets it on with another boy. And boy A, whose name happens to be Name, gets jealous. And he tells not the guy that he's into, who is Ryan, but he tells the other
Hunter.
No. He tells the guy that he's so
Hey.
Name and Ryan are together, as so Name thinks. But apparently Ryan is also spending some sexy time with Hunter. And Name finds this out, and in a way to get revenge because he's so hurt, he tells Hunter's dad, who happens to be the leader of the church, which leads to some, I don't even know what you call him, someone coming in who casts a spell on them.
I believe the technical term is called attempting to pray the gay away.
And in doing so, curses them where they see, and only they see, the person that they are most infatuated with trying to kill them all the time and actually physically hurting them. And no one else can see this, and they always have to live in fear. So,
Well, no one else can see it because it can only happen when they're alone.
yeah. But also, too, at one point, Name is standing in a convenience store, and his apparition is standing outside on the other side of the glass door, and he is like, can you see it? Can you see it? And they're like, no, what are you talking about? So this film follows them trying to survive this curse of sorts, and it actually killing Hunter, and both Name and Ryan getting attacked repeatedly by the vision, which is of each other because they are the ones that kind of had crushes on each other.
Yeah, so this was aptly named.
Are you guys confused yet?
Yeah, this was aptly named for the book of the Bible where they're all like, you shall not lie with a man.
Is that what Leviticus is?
Yeah. Leviticus is basically when you have religious zealots saying to keep it between a dude and a chick, it's Leviticus they're quoting.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm probably okay not knowing that.
Yeah.
So,
what can I say? A lot of just towns in my background.
yeah. So there's a lot of what would you do to explore here. The first is that Name, and I'd say they're all, maybe 10th, 11th grade or so?
Yeah.
Maybe.
They were near the end of their high school journey, it felt like.
And Name's mom moves them there, and you kind of get the impression that she liked the religious vibe. And
yes,
it is not okay for these boys to be interested in each other. So they're doing it in secret and hiding and ignore each other at school mostly.
In fairness, given the town and the people, I'm not so sure they would have been cool with it if it was a a dude and a chick. You kids shouldn't be fornicating.
Well, and we don't even know that there was fornicating. We just know that there was kissing and making out.
There was fornicating.
We didn't see that.
We didn't see the fornicating.
That's speculative on your part.
There was fornicating.
Okay. So regardless, Name is in this town. He does not like it. And he's there because his mom needed something and she thought this town could help her. So he is very unhappy. And when his crush Ryan and Ryan's other crush Hunter get this spell, this trance, this whatever the heck this is put on them, Name at that point is really confused because he can see that there's something happening with these two boys, that they're talking apparently to someone who isn't there, or they're getting beaten up or hurt, and he is super confused. So what would you do if you were Name, first of all, and you saw the person you had a crush on and that you had made out with and had been building a relationship kissing someone else?
Listen.
Keeping in mind that you're his age. We're not making this decision from our age.
I have never been a part of the gay community. I do definitely have friends who are part of the gay community. And
I don't know that this has anything to do with being gay, just talking about who you have a crush on and you think you're in a relationship with, and then you find them with someone else.
I'm just noting that there is a distinct lack of appreciation for a monogamy within the male gay community. So
none of that is what I asked. What would you do if you were Name and you saw that the guy or the person, whomever you had a crush on, was...
I guess if you're just discovering your gayness...
Again, I don't think that it matters. Love is love. Crushes are crushes.
Oh, I get that, but I know at a certain point, like, things are different. But we're just going to go off the whole, they don't know anything, they're just exploring their sexuality. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you were just putting it in me. Now you're trying to put it in him?
I don't know that there's any putting in. We're just talking about it being a crush. Okay.
So what's this whole thing with I throw a rock at you? I'm going to throw a rock at you, then you throw a rock at me, and I'll throw a rock at you, and it'll hurt, and then we'll make out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what that was. And it wasn't throw a rock at you. It was really like throw a rock at you so it freaking hurts and kind of takes your breath away, kind of a throw a rock.
That's not gay, straight, demon, no demon. That's just effed up.
My thought is maybe that was some sort of self-hatred or punishment or something. That's where my mind went. I certainly don't know. We didn't get any clarity on when those boys were throwing rocks at each other. So at this point now, Name has tattled and gotten these two boys in trouble. And now these boys have whatever this curse or hex or spell, whatever it is, going on.
Apparently the power of Christ tried to compel them, but
Name
didn't quite get
sees
there.
Ryan talking like there's someone there, but he doesn't see anybody. And he follows him. What would you do if you saw your crush you had been through all of this with, and they appear to be talking to someone and holding up a gate for them and walking down the street with them and talking and engaging with them, even in a photo booth with them, but you don't see anybody? What the heck do you do?
Well, for one, just as a note, Name's a little creeper. Like, that dude's just spying and following even when he's told not to.
What do you mean when he's told not to?
Creeper. He's told, like, stay away, and then he's like, I'm not staying away. But
I didn't get that. He's just a teenager who has a crush on someone, and he's hurt and jealous.
To answer the question, I think he's Looney Tunes. I think he's
Ryan. Yeah, you would think Ryan.
Or maybe he's just a little bit too old to have that kind of a imaginary friend.
Yeah, for sure.
Or at least that level of imaginary friend.
So as time goes by, Name's mom gets a little concerned, and then she basically thinks, hey, maybe you need a little hex and spell on you too.
You need your gay prayed away as well.
And calls in this freak of a guy who does this ceremony. And he's screaming and, no, mom, no, no, no. And he gets the same treatment. I didn't like that mom at all. She was...
A bitch?
Yeah. And it wasn't just that it happened. She made it happen. And we find out later in the film, she knew what that meant. She knew that he would be forever haunted by someone invisible that was going to scare them and hurt them. And she knew that, and she decided that for her son. She deserves to be pushed in front of a train. Who would do that to their kid?
That is very poor parenting. Very, very poor parenting.
And even if you're so close-minded or live in a small religious town where you cannot extend love and compassion to all, you think you could at least, at a minimum, cause no damage when it comes to your own son. It's one thing if, heaven forbid, a parent doesn't accept it or is confused by it or doesn't want to believe it. That's one thing. But to actively engage an activity that is going to hurt and haunt your son.
Yeah, when you've witnessed this happen to two people at the same time. Like, they were there. They were fine. They got a Zippo thrown in their face.
Zippo?
And then they were freaking convulsing on the ground. Like, both of them at the same time. Like, this isn't coincidence. This dude's messed up.
Yeah, that's what happened to the first two boys.
So, you've seen this, what happens, and you're like,
Well,
I
and
do that to my son, too.
It's not that she only knows what happens during the ceremony. She knows what happens after. She knows that he's going to live in fear. She knows that he's going to get beat up and hurt and haunted by this entity that only the infected person or affected person can see.
So I couldn't tell whether or not she knew that at the time that she was having it done with her son. Like, later on, she was like, I know, but I know because I've now seen what it's done to someone else, and now I know? Or is it I knew the whole time? And it's just the question is just a matter of, like, what size train are we pushing her in front of?
Yeah.
I mean,
I got
still
the
getting thrown in
impression
front
she
of a
knew.
train.
Yeah, no, terrible mom. Terrible mom. So if you were either of these two boys, now, Name sees Ryan. That's because that's the one he had a crush on, and Ryan sees Name as this invisible entity that hurts them. So they are confused sometimes. Is this the real person, or are you this entity that looks like the real person? Oh my gosh, what would you do when you honestly have no way of knowing what's real and what's not?
Well, here's the thing. I think Ryan was able to figure it out pretty quick. The reason being is that you could look at Ryan and look at Name and easily tell one of them was physically dominant over the other one.
What do you mean?
I mean, Ryan was physically dominant over Name in that he's bigger, stronger, and there's no way that Name could have done the things to Ryan if it had been actually Name.
Well, when you're being attacked, I think it's pretty clear if it's the apparition or if it's really the person. But when someone says, "Hey, how you been?" or "I'm just here," or "I'm standing in a hall," or whatever,
he caught him just coming out of the photo booth, and then they asked him like,
"Okay,
who was attacking you?" And he said,
context.
He said it was you.
Yeah, context for folks who didn't
You
see
just
that.
gave the context, didn't you?
Well,
you mentioned the photo booth. He went in the photo booth.
No, I didn't mention the photo booth.
You did. They went into the photo booth.
No, I said in the hallway or... Anyway.
I guess we have it recorded. We'll know later.
Okay, yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I had a slight seizure or something. Anyway.
No seizures after this movie.
So what would you do, though, if you were Named then? And he does get confused sometimes where he sees Ryan and he thinks it's the real Ryan because he's acting normal, like, hey, it's me, let me in. We need to talk. And what would you do? How do you figure out if it's really the person or not?
Obviously, it's very difficult. And at first, you don't understand how it works. So you're not going to know. Like, you're going to have to get attacked. Unless Ryan is able to put it together and tell you before it happens, like you're going to get attacked at least once because that person that you're most into, you trust, you do what they say. But then eventually I think you can kind of figure it out. So, like, it's certainly a problem. And that's the thing is the apparition can sound like the real one. He's like, yeah, I'll wait out here till your mom gets here. That way she can see both of us. In other words, kind of like, almost like playing chicken. Like, I know once your mom gets here, I can't do anything to you. But if I tell you that I want your mom to come, then you'll believe that I'm the right one. And you'll let me in, or at least let me punch through your screen and try to grab a piece of your hair.
These boys are going through this together until Ryan finds out what Name did in telling Hunter's father that Ryan and Hunter were together. And at that point,
Ryan, make him happy.
Ryan says, yeah, no, if you see me, it's not me because we are done. What would you do if you were Ryan and you found out this guy that you did have an interest in, even though you were still getting it on with somebody else, had turned you in, essentially, tattled on you, and was the cause of all of this happening to you, and Hunter ultimately dying from his aberration or ghost or whatever this entity is, actually dragging him off into the woods and killing him?
So this is a really hard one here, actually, because for one, you have to put yourself into like a 16, 17-year-old body, and their brains are still like...
I would love to go back to a 16 or 17-year-old body. Count me in.
Their brains are like 7, 8 years away from being actually like fully formed.
Yeah.
So, like, on one side, like, you should be old enough at that point to know what cheating is. And if Name saw Ryan, or the conception was that he was cheating with Hunter, he's going to be pissed. Now, maybe Name was the other man, and Hunter was the real love interest for Ryan. Either way, if you're not clear about this with people in advance, someone finds out, someone gets hurt. So, in a way, Ryan's got to take some responsibility on himself, but at the same point, he's going to look at, like, if you don't say anything, I'm not being haunted by an apparition, and the other dude I was fornicating with isn't dead. So I hate you. And I think as a 16, 17-year-old, that's where you're going to. Just, I hate you. I think if you're an adult, it's more like, I dislike you.
Because Name doing that really, it wasn't from a place of cruelty, and he certainly didn't know what would happen, but he was hurt and heartbroken and jealous and all the things that any teenager would feel. Obviously, if someone said, hey, if you tell them one of them's going to die and the other one's going to be haunted for the rest of their lives, you might think twice about it.
Yeah, maybe you make different choices at that point.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So this film ends...
Well, hang on. No. We have a massive what would you do. We cannot skip over.
What's that?
So, after this, Ryan comes to the house. I kind of alluded to it. Standing outside and is trying to convince Name that it's actually him. Mm-hmm. And he kind of sort of does, but doesn't open the screen. But then they sort of doing this whole like through the screen makeout, which is kind of icky because bugs run into that thing. But, and then he punches through Ryan punches through and grabs Name and he runs, and there's a struggle in the bathroom, and Name grabs like this little blade and shoves it into Ryan's cheek. No big deal. He grabs a pair of scissors, shoves it into Ryan's eye. No big deal. Grabs a lighter, lights it in front of Ryan, and he flips the hell out.
Yeah, and this is obviously Apparition Ryan, Ghost Ryan.
So, for me, at that point, that's a turning point. And then we just have the lighter rule.
Yeah.
Like, when we're going to hang out, we each have a lighter. And I'm going to take my lighter and I'm going to put it up next to you and light it. And you're going to put your lighter up to next to me and light it. And if we don't freak out like a freaking demonic apparition, it's cool.
Yeah, there definitely needed to be better communication because we don't see Name telling Ryan about his discovery about the lighter. And toward the end of the film, not the very end, but toward the end, Name actually locks the apparition Ryan into a abandoned warehouse that he sets on fire. And we think that might have been the end of it. He might have died, but we learn at the end of it that this ghost or whatever it is did not and is still alive and well.
So I do want to note that even before we had the lighter rule, something I had already been thinking was that we have the telecommunications rule. Because I don't believe apparitions have their own cell phone plan.
Okay.
So if you want to hang out, you message the other person and say, let's meet at here at this time, specifically. So both people know you meet it there at the same time, and then it's the right person because the apparition doesn't read your text messages, hopefully.
Yeah, these boys needed a better communication plan to stay together, be together, communicate how to keep each other safe and keep their own selves safe. Because at the end, they both hop a bus and leave town.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, this is their life then.
Well, here's the way I look at it. Number one, obviously, because you see that this thing won't stop. So if I'm them, like I just have my little lighter rule, and if they hang out on a more permanent basis, I would invest in a lot of candles.
But here's the thing. Okay, so then know that it's the bad one, but the bad one is still going to beat the heck out of you, throw you into things, hurt you, maybe even kill you like the one that killed Hunter.
The bad ones didn't seem able to do anything until they had essentially trapped them under their gaze. Like
under their what?
Like trying to make out, close to making out, like feeling comfortable with this person. Like you have to be comfortable with the fake person, and then they can do it. In every situation that it attacked, it was a situation where they were kind of getting it on with fake apparition or getting close to it.
That's not true at all. The one that killed Hunter,
they were throwing rocks at each other before it happened, and then he started making out with it. You didn't see the apparition, but you could tell he was making out with it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and then he drug him off into the woods and killed him.
Yeah. So like I said...
And the film actually did start off with a girl making out with someone in a shower who we didn't see, and she also died. So this does not end well. Ultimately, you're gonna go.
Well, no, like I said,
just don't
keep a lighter.
Okay,
and
so not to make out with the apparition, and then it doesn't escalate to death.
So I'm just gonna say that you both carry lighters all the time and invest in a lot of candles.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.